Part E asks us to find the measure of the missing angles in each diagram below. So starting with question 1, we can see that what we have here are two straight lines that are intersecting. So we know that angles opposite to each other have to be the same measure. So 72 is opposite to angle Y. So we know that angle Y has to also be 72 degrees. And then to figure out these other ones, we can see that to make this straight line, 72 and x have to add up to 180 degrees because a straight line has an angle of 180 degrees. So we can say that 180 degrees minus 72 should equal our angle x. And 180 minus 72 equals 108 degrees. So x is 108 degrees. And then going back to our opposite angles rule, we know that angle z has to have the same measure as angle x. So z is also 108 degrees. And that makes sense because z plus 72 has to also equal 180, and z plus y has to equal 180 to make these straight lines possible. So moving on to question 2, in this case we can also use our opposite angle rule. So angle C is opposite to angle 70, this angle with a measure of 70 degrees, because these two straight lines are intersecting. So we can say that C has a measure of 70 degrees. The next thing we can figure out is angle D, because we know that D and 70 have to add up to 180 degrees to make this straight line. So to figure out D, we'll do 180 degrees minus 70 degrees, which is 110 degrees. So D has a measure of 110 degrees. And then to figure out these other two, there's a couple different ways we can do it. We know that to make this straight line, 70 degrees plus A plus B has to be 180. And we've been told in the question that A equals angle B. So one way we can write this is that 70 degrees plus 2A, because A is the same measure as B, has to equal 180 degrees. So subtracting 70 on both sides gives us 2A equals 110 degrees. Divided by 2 gives us A equals 55 degrees. So both B and A are 55 degrees. Another way we could do this is by noticing that these two lines are intersecting. So D and A and B together can be thought of as opposite angles. And if D is 110 degrees and these two are the same, 110 divided by 2 is 55 degrees. Okay, moving on to question 3. First thing we can do is look at these two intersecting lines and see that 40 is opposite to angle O. So angle O has to be equal to 40 degrees. And similarly, these two straight lines are intersecting. So 50 is opposite to angle N. So N is equal to 50 degrees. And this leaves us our angles M and P. And what we can recognize here is that 40 degrees plus 50 degrees is 90 degrees. So these are all 90-degree angles to make up a full 360 degrees. So we know that P is 90 degrees and M is also 90 degrees. Another way to do that is to recognize that these are straight lines and do the 180 minus 40 minus 50. You'll also get 90 degrees that way. So these angle measures give us the missing angles in part E. And those are our answers to questions 1, 2, and 3 of part E.